We're still on Midday Live, and it's now time for us to look at some business update. Definitely, we'll be giving you more updates on how this whole collapse building has affected business activities in that area. Bridget visited early on this morning. But now let's focus on inflation figures as well as some financial issues coming out with the Electoral Commission. Well, the Finance Ministry says that it has released a total of 55 million, which is the dollar equivalent of 24 million to the Electoral Commission by the ministry's letter dated January 28, 2014 on the subject matter that is to conduct the 2014 District Assembly elections. And the amount released is in respect of the EC's request to procure biometric machines, update, maintain and support data centers, hardware and software in the maintenance of wide area network. And this release from the Ministry of Finance is to end the controversy surrounding the release of funds to the EC for the conduct of 2014 district level elections. Later on, we would be reaching the Director of Communications of the Electoral Commission to find out really if they have received such an amount, that is 55 million to this from the Finance Ministry. Talk about inflation, and year-on-year inflation for February 2014 recorded an increase of 14.0% from 13.8% recorded in January 2014. Well, contributory factors accounting for the 1.1 percentage increase include price changes in water, electricity, gas and other fuels, none different as compared to January's figure.
We are comparing what the price was, the change in the price between February 2013 and February 2014. So it depends on how high the prices were at that time. But we are still seeing an increase. For example, if you take the non-food, we are still seeing an increase of 9.9%. It doesn't mean that prices have been stable. But if you compare it to what it was before, the rate of increase is lower than what we see in the other regions.
Government statistician Dr. Philomena Nyako explained the food and non-food beverages group recorded an average year-on-year rate of 7.5% upward adjustment in inflation, with mineral water, soft drinks and fruit juices leading the subgroups. The monthly change inflation for February 2014 was 1.1%. This is against the 3.9% recorded in January 2014. The main drivers for the non-food inflation were housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuels, recording 38.9%. Year-on-year, Ashanti region recorded the highest inflation rate of 16.7%, with Upper West region recording the lowest rate of 9.5%. Three regions, Ashanti, Eastern and Greater Accra, recorded inflation rates above the national average of 14.0%. And talking about putting the economy on track, well, we're still finding answers in reducing the budget deficit. And economic analysts have asked President Mahama to trim his government size, while Parliament is reduced by 45 members. Dr. Kweku Osafo wants many in the public sector laid off to reduce government burden and ensure efficiency. He was speaking to my colleague Odilio Fori.
President John Dramani Mahama, in the recent State of the Nation's address, insisted that he, together with his government, are reducing their salaries by some 10% in order to address some of the issues relating to budget deficit. But analysts have insisted that that will just be a drop in the ocean and need to cut out and totally cut down on employment, which currently has been frozen. The people that are currently employed, 20% of them should just go home, and government spending should be cut by some 20%. But I ask, wouldn't that be leading to some extra unemployment situation? Analyst Dr. Kweku Osafo says no, but this could be the sure way to address the government budget deficit. There has been a recent development in relation to cutting down on the public sector spending and also on employment. Is that the way to really go?
Well, it's part of the measures that the government has to take to sanitize the system. One has to match the emoluments and the benefits of the public sector against the productivity of that sector. And looking at it from many angles, I don't think public and civil servant sector has been that productive.
Government said that they will also reduce salaries by some 10% to set themselves as examples. Did it make sense? Has it?
Number of ministries. I mean, we should all admit this has been carried from one republic to the other, government to the other. That really, do we really need the number of ministers and their deputies? My simple question is that we don't, and that could be reduced.
Right, so reducing the budget deficit. Are we seeing job cuts in the public sector? Well, we'll give you more updates in the business board later.